Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So this is Tank Tour Tuesday for February, and John is going to be doing Tank Tour Tuesday for us.
Be
So,
upstairs on a meeting, Jeremy. If you guys need me, just page me.
John, thank you very much for being here,
Yeah,
and thank you for your tank.
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I was saying thank you for agreeing to do this, and tell us about. I guess just get started. Tell us about your tank.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, you guys, I'm not really a presentation guy, so you guys kind of can stop me wherever and I'll let you guys kind of take the lead. It's the tank is about 300 gallons. It's been set up for probably a little bit over a year now. The dimensions, I believe, are somewhere like it's about 84 inches long and 36 inches front to back and 24 inches high. So I really like those dimensions because it's got like a really deep look when you're looking in from the front of the tank. So those are the dimensions. It's a mixed reef, a little bit of everything, chalices, SPS, guantids, um, and then just a bunch of fish that I moved over from the previous tank. It was a previous tank was about 196 gallons, and I was getting kind of old. And somebody actually in Marco Island down here, I'm in Naples, so somebody in Marco Island was actually getting rid of this tank, and they basically gave it away for free. It's like a low iron Starfire type glass. It's I think built by you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Planet Aquarium or that company that's in Texas. I did a little bit of research on them after I got the tank. So yeah, basically couldn't say no to that. The guy was basically giving it away. There's a couple scratches on the pane. I guess he had like a younger kid. And he wanted to go back to acrylic, so he kind of just wanted to get rid of it and wanted somebody to just take it out. So that's basically the dimensions and kind of like a brief overview of the tank. Um, I don't know, like I said, you guys just shoot me some questions or something, guys. I
Yeah,
don't want to
so
keep
what
rambling
kind of
on.
fish do you got?
I have a bunch of fish. Do you guys want me to turn the camera around? I mean, I basically, it's 9 o'clock here, so I've been kind of starving the fish the whole day so I can kind of keep them up. I can put some food in there and have them come out for some food and kind of get a better look at them.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, go ahead
you
and
want to
feed
go
the
ahead and do
tank and
that?
take a look. Yeah, go ahead and feed the tank and we'll take a look at it.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So, like I said, it's about 84 inches left to right. There's a male swallowtail that I've been looking for a long time. Achilles. I have two female swallowtails in there. Uh, Scott's fairy wrasse. Let's see what else is in here. Pop in the food real quick.
That's
How tall is
beautiful.
this tank?
I'm sorry.
How tall is the tank?
It's about 24 inches.
Oh wow. It really may have made it where it looks like it's so much taller.
Yeah, I tried to keep the rockwork kind of low to give the fish more room to swim. So there's a pintail in there, female. You can see like a black cap bass slit. I think there's like a possum wrasse. He kind of hides in here somewhere. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get him on camera. Let's see what else. This guy will come out now. There's like a Yasha goby over there.
That's a beautiful tank. I love the scape and how natural it looks.
Thank you. Yeah, let me know if I'm moving the camera too fast because I can't really tell on my end. So, and then there's the female dragonette. You can kind of see her in there.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful fish
Yeah.
collection too.
So
Mm-hmm.
wild yellow tang. So like before the ban, I think I got him for like 25 bucks.
Looks so natural too. I love it. So much room to swim. That yellow thing is so bright.
I don't know if anybody follows some. I've posted on the Humble Fish forum some of the things that I've acclimated. I know I posted the dragonet pair. I got them eating brine while they were in quarantine. Let's see what else. The Achilles tang, I know. The Achilles tang, I got it from a local fish store here. He had it for about 3 months and it never showed any signs of ick. So I did that, you know, kind of like 1 month, 6 week kind of quarantine that everybody does from the Cumble Fish Forum. And so far, he hasn't spotted up at all. It's been maybe 6, 7 months now.
Look how active they are. They're like, okay, are you gonna feed us or what? Are you gonna still talking?
Let me see, actually, because I do have some. Hold on 1 second.
What lights are you running?
The lights, I have these like new high-tech type of lights. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. Just metal halides that are like
Hey,
15 years old
that's cool.
with a couple LED bars. Yeah, I'm joking. I'm kind of like one of the last metal halide users out there, probably.
They're actually on the forum. Someone posted, I don't know if y'all saw it, like that somebody they were doing like an auction on metal
Hmm.
halide lights on ballast or whatever.
So it's two radiums, 250s, and then I have a couple of these blue LED bars from Amazon. I have them off right now because I don't have a filter for the camera, so the whites from the halides kind of. And then this is that side shot that I was telling you guys about earlier.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It,
I fully approve. I'm halide too, so you are not the only one.
Yeah, it's just something that I don't know. I mean, LEDs obviously they grow coral right now, but I don't know. It's less of a headache for me right now. They haven't broken down. Maybe when they break down, I'll start switching them out. But for now, they work fine. I have for flow,
I see gyres,
yeah, I
huh?
have a gyre on this side, and then a gyre on that side, and then I have four vortex on the back wall, MP40s. These are all like things that I've collected over my 15 years of reefing. So I
Wow.
just it's not something that I bought specifically for this tank. This tank was mainly like a tank transfer from the 200 gallon.
Is that the
Uh,
Hammer Garden over there?
yeah, I'll go over there. The
Nice.
stand, kind of like a floating canopy that I did with like a kind of like a homemade stand. I built the stand myself. I do a little bit of carpentry on the side. The doors open up. And stop me if you guys want to, if you have any questions. It's basically a simple sump, couple baffles, an internal reef octopus, old skimmer, about 12 years old, the SRO 300 or something like that. Uh, like a J-bow return pump. And then this other panel, what I did here is I mounted all the controllers for the pumps. Yeah, got a hammer garden here, a couple different colors, some golds, brown with purple tips, purple with green tips.
So you inherited all of this?
No, well, this
Partial.
was just basically everything in here was actually grown from frags, so small frags. But I've had the previous tank for about 3 years, and now
Oh,
this tank,
okay.
yeah, now this tank about a year. So this tank filled up pretty quick because I had basically the coral from the previous tank.
Okay.
So all these hammer frags were basically just single heads. I had about 4 or 5 different strains, and that's about 4 or 5 years of growth. Couple scolies here. I used to be a member of FMAS on the east coast of Florida, and we had frag swaps. So about 10 years ago, that green scolie is about, I would say, maybe 12 years old. I got it for $40. The red one was actually an experiment. That one's about 10 years old too. My friend from FMAS, he had a small scolie and we cut it in four just to see if we could frag it. And this was like 12 years ago. And obviously you can frag scolies, but it takes a while for them to fill out. This is an ORA bird's nest. I think this is a pink lemonade. I'm not really good with the coral names. I just kind of collect the colors that I like. Some Pinky the Bear, Sanjay Grape Concord.
What coal is your favorite coal?
My favorite one probably would be between the ORA, which is kind of not the right color right now because of the camera. So the ORA Pearlberry and this Pinky the Brain. This thing is like insanely bushy. I don't think I can zoom in with this meeting, but yeah. Let's see what else we got here. This is a fox flame. There's the Yasha Gobi coming out a little bit more.
Oh my God, so cute. It's tiny.
Yeah, I thought I bought a male and a female, but I think I have two females because they tolerate each other and they sometimes will be in the same burrow, but a lot of times they'll just be in different parts of the tank. So I think I kind of struck out on that. I don't know where the other one is right now. There's the male swallowtail again.
How do you keep your sand so white?
I have a cucumber in here, a tiger tail, and I also have like a ton of I have a ton of Cerith snails. So I live down here in Naples, and I work between here and Marco Island a lot. So at low tide, I have an area here, like a bridge that leads into Marco Island. And if you can get like a super low tide, there's places where I can grab like, fistfuls of Cerith snails. And I just
From the
kind of,
ocean?
yeah, and I just
Really?
kind of replenish them. And they come out at night. So right now you don't see any of them. But as soon as the lights turn off, they'll start climbing up the glass and they'll be all over the tank. So I'm assuming that's what's keeping the tank stirred up. Where's the Achilles tank?
I saw you have Patrick in there too. Starfish.
Oh yeah, he's up there.
Hanging out on top.
I have the orange Linkia and I also have a blue Linkia, but that guy is very hard to find. He's almost never out. I mean, I thought I lost it a couple times, but he just every couple months I'll see him somewhere.
How long did you have him?
Maybe about 6 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's I think that's a flag fin wrasse or a high fin fairy wrasse. I'm not exactly sure.
It's a
Yeah,
wrasse.
I'm the guy that posted the threads on those rhomboids that got that neurological disease. That was kind of a bummer. So I was hoping they'd be in the tank now, but unfortunately they didn't make it. There's the other Yasha Gobi.
They have a complicated marriage, I can see.
Yeah, all the way across the tank. There's the possum wrasse. I don't know if you guys could see him. He just went back in the rocks.
Yeah. What do your parameters like? What do you normally keep your parameters at?
Calcium about 420 is what I try to keep it at. Alkalinity around 8, 8.5. right now I'm running kind of high on, I mean, I've always kind of run high on nutrients. So my nitrates were around 35, 40, and my phosphates like 0.3, 0.4. I'm trying to get them down, but I'm doing it
What are you
slowly.
using to get them down?
Um, just basically water changes, and I've been trying to kind of dose some lanthanum chloride, but I'm doing it really slowly because I don't want to have
Do
any
you use
issues with the tank.
JFO?
I use it from time to time, but it gets exhausted kind of quick for me, so it's kind of like a money pit. But I'll probably try it again because, like I said, I mean nothing's really hurting in the tank from that.
Corals look happy. Yeah.
Yeah, the corals look pretty good, and this plating Monty right here, he kind of tells me when the parameters are where they should be because it this guy pales out pretty quickly if he doesn't like something.
Is it because of the phosphate and nitrite? What do you think it is?
Honestly, it might be that, or I think I've had issues with some trace elements. I think my potassium goes low sometimes, and I've found that to kind of affect the colors.
What are you using
Uh,
to dose your tank?
I can actually, I'll take you guys to the room. So what I did was I backed this tank up to an exterior wall that had a window behind it. And actually,
Nice.
there's the male uh, ruby dragonet.
Oh, nice.
So what I did is I backed the tank to an exterior wall, and I kind of built like a lean-to. We have like a covered lanai. I'll take you guys back there. Actually, give me 1 second.
The secret room.
Yeah, basically. I promised my wife I'll give her the linen closet back if she lets me put the fish tank in front of that window. So
Win-win.
yeah. 1 second. Oh, that's the pond, saltwater pond.
In the house?
Wow, that's
It's on,
awesome.
it's on the porch on the covered lanai.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So like
What's
when I go to the beach or I collect something, I have a couple
oh,
fish in
Oh,
here, bait fish using when I went fishing last time. So they're still in here. There's a tang that I caught from the last time I went snorkeling in the Keys.
so this is
wow.
like your Florida tank, basically, right?
Basically, it's like a Florida biotope. Yeah, I had like a waterfall going there and stuff, but I kind of shut some stuff down when it got colder, so I can kind of isolate it a little bit. So I'll probably start it back up again.
Oh, wait, your wife is cool with all this in the house?
Yeah, kind of. That's a loose term, but yeah, she's okay with it.
That's awesome, man. You got like you got like a indoor saltwater pond Florida biotype going on. That's awesome.
So
Wow.
what I have a couple mangrove propagules here that are kind of starting to take root. So this is kind of like the sump, but it's in reverse. So this is what I say is the sump, and it basically just overflows into the pond on the bottom, which technically the pond would be the sump, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's very nice. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
That looks
So
so
this is what
natural too.
basically just made out of plywood and 2x4s and some 4 millimeter pond liner. I had to actually rebuild it once because I brought home a a queen trigger, like one of the, if you guys know what those look like,
Oh
those
yeah,
things are beautiful, like the colors.
they're mean.
And apparently it got a little bit curious and it started biting the pond liner and it made a hole in the liner and I found the pond like half empty one day.
Oh, they're mean.
When
That's
you go
crazy.
when you go to the Keys, you ever like see like a really nice like Queen Blue or Townsend Angel?
I've been trying to catch them. Yeah, I've seen them and I actually kind of fabricated like my own type of like barrier net to try and catch them, but it's kind of tough by myself.
They're hard.
But
Yeah.
I have seen them, and I had one French angel that I almost caught last time I went snorkeling, but yeah, it just kind of got out of my hands when I tried to put it in the container. But
Here they're like they hang out by the jetties, but
right, right,
they almost like they play with you, right? Because you can kind of get close, but
right.
like if you try to get in too close, they just swim off. Like they don't even really try to get away, but they know, I guess they know you're in their element and you're not going to be able
Well,
to.
they know exactly where they're gonna go if they need to go somewhere because they
Yeah.
know the spots. So, but yeah. So this is the
Oh, wait. So how does it get lights? Is it just the natural light?
yeah. 1 second. Well,
Oh,
I
you
had
got a
a
little.
hal
I see the hang.
I
Okay.
had a halide here, but because I tried what I tried to do is make that kind of like a little mangrove island, but
Oh,
I kind of
cool.
gave up on that. What I wish I would have done was had the installed the pond a little bit, kind of like where those barbecue grills are, because that gets natural sunlight a couple hours a day. But
Hmm.
maybe a future project. For now,
No, I
yeah.
think it looks amazing. You should share more of that.
Yeah, I have it on one of the other forums. I'm not sure which one. Maybe it's Reef to Reef. Anyway, so this is that fish room. So I have the ballasts up there, and they were asking about dosing. So that's just the freshwater auto top off, and then that's what I'm trying to plumb in as a frag tank eventually. And then I'm basically just dosing kalkwasser, and I'm uh whatever is the kalkwasser doesn't cover, I have two part, and
Well,
that kind of
two part you using?
just BRS
Soda
right now.
ash.
Yeah, just soda ash and the calcium hydroxide or whatever. And that's just like one of those regular 4 channel J-Bo dosing pumps.
Are you connecting that frag tank to your main display then?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to connect it to the main display, and you can see the back of the tank here. So
Nice.
I made it in a way where I had to have access to the plumbing and stuff behind the tank through the window.
So you can see everything too.
Yeah.
Does that window open or you have to break it if you need to fix something?
Well, the bottom opens up to right about here, and then the rest is fixed. So I can't
Yeah.
actually reach the top of the tank, unfortunately, through there. But I mean, I can reach the sump, or I can kind of reach the bulkheads and stuff if I need to.
So you can still reach the bottom. Yeah. No, that's
Oh yeah,
great.
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Um, yeah, that's about it. I mean, you guys have any other?
Where are you going to connect that frag tank? How do people do that?
I'm sorry.
How do you connect the frag tank to your main system?
I
You
have let me see here. I
you have to do
have this.
separate plumbing?
Well, I have when I plumbed in this pump, I plumbed it with like a manifold up there.
Hmm.
So it's just waiting to get plumbed in whenever I have time to actually do the plumbing and stuff. So
Nice.
that yeah, so that pump there just basically
Refugium?
I had one I used to on the previous tank, and it definitely worked to keep my nitrates and phosphates down. I just haven't had a chance right now to set it up.
That skimmer is the bomb.
Yeah, it's good. I had a problem kind of getting it to run properly on this tank for some reason, but it seems like it's starting to pull out more.
Where you keep your magnesium?
Magnesium, I try to keep it above 1350. So 1350 to 1400.
Yeah, about the same. Mine's been dropping for some reason. I have to dose more.
So do you have any
Monty's.
future things you want to collect, like fish or coral? Do you have any other plans?
So one of the future things is the frag tank to hook it up. But another one, I have to, if I have time, and if I have to, I might have to run it by my wife, is right here on this side. Basically, what I kind of want to do is build another kind of semi-stand, like a shelf, and I want to put in like a rimless 30-gallon cube that's plumbed into the main tank and make that kind of into a semi like display refugium with different types of macroalgae and maybe like a mangrove, trying to grow the mangrove up from like a pile of rock work.
I saw that you have something else lighting your hammer patch other than the
I'm
halide.
sorry.
You have like other lights above your hammer garden?
Yeah, these are just some cheap. They're called D-Sunny LED lights from eBay. I got them years ago. They're still kicking. So I kind of this is so kind of how I organized the tank was underneath the halides. On the left side, I kind of put more of the stonies, and then I kept this pile lower so I can keep some Montes and chalices. And then the lower light corals, I left it under these cheaper LEDs because they don't put up that much par. So I kind of left the LPS and some of the zoanthids and
Yeah, because I was
it's
curious.
all
I was like, if it was all the same lighting, you wouldn't really be able to do that as well.
if it was the same, would I be able to?
No, yeah, I was saying like if you had another meta halide, it might be a little harder to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
what you're doing.
exactly. So that's kind of why I
Does it blend well, or do you see like the difference between the LED side and the metal halide side? Like visually?
so when all the I'm not sure if you can see it now, there's a little bit of a difference on the left. Um, you can kind of see the halides are 20K radiums, so it's like that nice bright crisp white. It's kind of hard to recreate that with those cheaper LEDs, so you can kind of see it. It doesn't bother me because right now, like I said, I have the LED bars, the blue ones are off because I don't want to have everything washed out right now while I'm doing the live stream. But when those blues are on, it basically just kind of meshes and melds everything in, and it looks more cohesive. So
Have you
On
had
the
any
camera, you can tell.
have you had any issues with any of the fish nipping? Like I know the angels are all reef safe, but like, sometimes you'll get like a rogue one.
so what I noticed was the tangs, the Achilles and the yellow tang. They actually they kind of graze on the SPS on some of them, but it doesn't seem, I mean, I don't think it bothers anything because I have polyp extensions, so they're probably just kind of opportunistically just kind of grazing on whatever. I thought that it was affecting them about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, because this lemonade colony, the polyps were all closed, and when this guy's polyps are all closed, I kind of can tell that something's going on. And the last time I noticed that about 2, 3 years ago, I had red bugs. So about a month and a half ago, I was dealing with the same issue, and I looked. I thought it was something else. I thought it was parameters or something that was out of whack. But when I took a closer look, um, I noticed some white bugs crawling on it. And I don't know if anybody has ever dealt with white bugs, but they're a little bit harder to get rid of than red bugs. It takes a little bit more medication, but it's been about a month and a half since then, or 2 months after 3 treatments, once per week, and the polyps are all coming back now. Colors are starting to come back on.
How easy was it to see the bugs on the coral?
It's not that easy to see, depending on how good your eyesight is and how the coral is situated. But if you kind of take time to sit in front of the tank and kind of stare at it, you can see them moving around. I mean, depending on how, diligent you are with, just sitting there for a couple minutes and trying to see if something moves. They come out more during the lights out or as the lights go out towards the end of the light cycle. But I noticed that a lot of the other corals are now starting to show better coloration and better polyps. So they were probably throughout the tank. I just didn't really see them on all the corals.
What did you use? You might have already said this. What did you use to get rid of the white bugs? What treatment?
Oh, it was no, I didn't. It was Interceptor.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend on the East Coast, which is he's a veterinarian, so I mean he knows the situation when it comes to these things. He's a reefer actually as well.
Okay.
So yeah, he'll write me a prescription for it when I need it.
Yeah, that stuff's hard to get nowadays, but I mean, yeah, I know for, any acropora eating, those the AFW or whatever. I mean, yeah, Interceptor still seems to be the best.
Yeah, yeah.
That yellow tang is just badass. I mean, you don't, I mean, I'm not trying to, bang on biota, but I mean, you're not going to see a yellow tang that looks like that. That's tank raised. That yellow tang is awesome.
Yeah, so it's interesting with this one. When he was in the other tank, maybe I just wasn't paying attention to the tank as much, or I wasn't feeding enough nori, or he started getting a little bit too big for that 150 or 190 gallon. He the dorsal fin started to become deformed. I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe some of you guys have seen some yellow tangs that have like that top fin that kind of gets eroded, and it didn't look like lateral line disease. And as soon as I put him in here and he had more like natural swimming space, that top dorsal fin just kind of regenerated.
Yeah, you're married to that fish for life. You can't ever get rid of that.
Yeah, right. Well, that was the thing that kind of, I don't know if anybody remembers, but when I transferred the tank, so what had happened was when I transferred the 196 to this tank, um, I didn't know I had ick in the other tank. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was, conscious that I had it, but it didn't really flare up as much. So when I moved them here, what happened was I moved everything in here, all the fish, and they did fine. But for some reason, something happened where I had to take all the rocks out again. And that second time when I removed all the rocks, all the fish basically just came down with ick, and I didn't know what it was. Like on the forum, I was posting pictures, and you guys were telling me it kind of looks like velvet, but it kind of looks like ick. And then kind of the consensus was it might have been like a really bad case of ick with the bacterial infection, because it didn't kill the fish fast like velvet would. They were still like kind of living, but I knew that I didn't want to start this tank off on the wrong foot. So when that happened, I basically just broke the tank down again, fish wise, and I started that quarantine. And that's kind of when I really got into quarantining. And basically, like, all these fish that have been put in here have been through that humble fish quarantine procedure with copper and all the wrasses, the leopard wrasse, um, the angels, the Achilles, everything basically, and then all the new incoming fish, obviously. But like you said with the yellow tang, the yellow tang was one of the fish that I was kind of pushed me to like, okay, no, we're gonna try and get all these fish cleaned and quarantined and looking healthy because I don't want to lose that yellow tang. So
Because you said you collect your own snails. Does that ever make you a little nervous? I don't know if you
yeah,
not, but just
yeah.
ask.
I mean, I collected those maybe over a year ago or something. So it was kind of like before I was doing the quarantine. So I haven't really added any new snails and invertebrates since then. So, but yeah, it's kind of in the back of my head. I mean, I haven't gone to that end of the spectrum where I'm like quarantining inverts too and stuff.
You can just put them in your salt pond for some time.
Yeah,
See what happens.
yeah. I have a couple wrasses in there from the Keys. They'll make short work of those guys. They're pretty big. There's the Mexican Turbo. That's the Roomba. That's where he parks every day. You would think that he's dead, but because he's there every morning and every night. But if I come in the middle of the night, he's zooming around the tank. But he's always parked right back there in that corner.
Nice.
So he's
I
about
wanted to
decide.
say something about the red bugs and the white bugs.
Yeah,
Coral collector Ahmad or Andan. He has a very, very unique name. He developed a little bit of recipe for that stuff, and it works really, really good. I met him in Reef, California.
What is he using for it?
I don't know. He's gone through so many different things, so he created something that he's selling now, and it
Mm-hmm.
works for everybody. And I don't know what the concoction in there, but I think he listed medication in there if you want to look it up, and I can post something or send you the
Yeah,
link if you
I'll
want to
have to
look at.
look into it because I mean, inevitably by adding coral, I might
Yeah,
get it again,
yeah.
but
I got acropora eating flatworms, and nobody wants to talk about it.
yeah, I've had them before. I don't really like those. I mean, red bugs now are kind of like a pretty easy treatment if you have the medication, but yeah, I did lose unfortunately the shrimp. So my peppermint shrimp, a cleaner shrimp, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
It
due to the
definitely,
medication. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they definitely kills all of that. But the snails are all fine. Starfish, everything else made it out.
Yeah, so there's actually something now new for the acroid and flatworms that everybody have a good success with it. It's the angelfish
Oh,
dewormer.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard about that. Yeah.
So I'm doing this and I'm almost to 2 months. I haven't seen anything, so fingers crossed.
Okay. I heard that it might get rid of the vermitid snails also.
I haven't seen success in that. They're still
No.
there and thriving.
All right. Yeah, I heard a podcast. I think it was Chris Meckley or Reef Bum or somebody. They were talking about it, but I haven't tried it. So yeah, I don't know if it's any truth to that.
There's always something, isn't it? But your tank is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I just love how natural it looks and just the layout of it and the fish.
Thank
Well
you. Thank
done.
you.
Yeah,
A
it's really
couple other fighting kongs here again from like Marco Island.
Oh, you got the big one. I have that big one, the first one. Go back. I have that one. And you know what? At night when she start to move around and she just hits the glass, it's like bang, bang. I was like, what's
Right,
that
right,
noise?
right. And some sea urchins. I had some issues with hair algae in this tank, so sometimes when I hit a snag like that, I use it as an excuse to head down to the Keys and I just collect like my own invert pack from down there.
Wow, that's incredible
that's
that you
cool.
have at your disposal, right, Bobby?
Oh yeah, it's cool that he can like catch some of his own stuff. I used to do that a
Uh-huh.
long time ago. That's really cool. Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, Bobby for the win for the humble fish expertise again, helping out another fellow reefer, saving their fish. That's how I got into the humble fish, saving my fish.
Right,
QT.
exactly. Yep.
Yep. And look, there's, reap the benefits, beautiful tank now, healthy fish.
And I mean, I haven't gotten any spots or anything on the fish since then, like at all. And I mean, I would assume that the yellow tang and the Achilles would be a good, indicator if there's
Oh
anything
yeah,
in the
for
tank.
sure.
So,
Maybe not so much the yellow tang, but the Achilles would probably have an outbreak if yeah, if you had some, because you're not running like a UV or anything on the tank, right?
no, no.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember a couple months ago, I asked about something hanging out of the stomach of one of these fish, a wrasse. It was like
I think I remember that thread.
so that's the guy right there.
What was it?
I'm assuming he got sliced by either the yellow or the Achilles because for some reason, for some reason that leopard wrasse likes nori, and the Achilles doesn't really like anybody touching his nori when he's in there. So
Of course.
I'm assuming he got the sharp end of the tail one day, but
Mm,
he's completely healed. I mean, there's no sign of. Pretty crazy how these fish can heal if they're healthy.
yeah. So what's your feeding maintenance? The whatever. How do you feed your fish? What's day to day?
Um, Frozen mysis, like the hikari, the small stuff, or PE mysis. And then when I'm in a
Did
rush, I just started using the brine shrimp direct, like the flakes. I heard a couple years ago Jake Adams talk about it on one of his reef
mm-hmm.
therapy podcasts. and you can get them on Amazon cheap, and it's like it's a big volume, and it's the fish like it, and it seems like it's pretty healthy. It brings out their
Do you,
colors.
right, do you prepare your food fish with like defroster or like for a couple days, or do you add any vitamins or anything like that?
Um, no, not really. I have two kids. I have two kids, and my wife and I both work, so it's basically just kind of thawing the food out. I do have Celcon,
Uh-huh.
so I do add that if I have time on the weekend to kind of let stuff kind of,
Like
sit in
cooking
there.
Soak
And
it
residue.
up. Go ahead.
or I bought it when I had to do some kind of medicated food one time when I thought I had maybe some internal parasites. So
Yeah, it's a shame, but because I don't think the Achilles would tolerate it. But it would look amazing in this tank, a powder blue tang.
yeah, I had one.
Okay, and the Achilles ran it out.
Well, what happened was the powder blue was in here first, so he was kind of the aggressor until basically they kind of became situated, and they were okay for a couple months, but I noticed for some reason the Achilles kind of went on a hunger strike. He wasn't eating anything. He wasn't going for the nori, and I tried to sit and watch the tank for a while to see if he was getting bullied by the powder blue or something. And I mean, I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I just made the decision to remove the powder blue. And after a couple days, the Achilles kind of bounced back. And so I really still don't know. Maybe he was dealing with some type of infection internally or something, and it just wasn't feeling good. I think I posted on the forum. I'm like, do fish get sick? Like, can they get a cold or something? Because this Achilles tank is not acting right. So, but it's interesting though, because as soon as I removed the powder blue, the kind of like the whole dynamic of the tank changed. Like everybody
Yeah,
calmed down.
I bet.
I'm not sure if you guys have ever noticed that, but like everybody kind of
Wait,
just kind of
Isabella?
simmered down.
Yeah, a lot of times, like a powder blue. I mean, because I've had some, and they they get like aggressive after dark, kind of like
Hmm.
it's not so much like they're not acting too aggressively while the lights are on. And then I know sometimes lights go out, and if you kind of sit there and like kind of like step back and watch them, they just start like they're swimming aggressively, and all the other fish are like darting into a cave, and they're just like an attack.
Yeah, it's like they're pacing back and forth.
Yeah, they're like pacing aggressively, and I think it just stresses all the other fish out. Yeah.
Right, right. So that's kind of what I feel like. I just for me the Achilles was kind of like the keystone fish for this tank. Like I've always wanted an Achilles, so kind of had to make the decision between that and the powder blue. And like I said, as soon as he got out of there, all
You
the
picked
fish
the
kind
right
of.
one.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I had a lag on my phone. I said you picked the right one.
Right. Yeah. So
100%
so
agree.
say that again.
I said I 100% agree too. You picked the right one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had one before when I first moved. Before I moved to Naples, I used to live in Fort Lauderdale, and things were different back then. Like 12 years ago, I got an Achilles for $80. So, I mean, obviously, that's not how much I paid for this one this time. So I said, if I'm gonna pay that much money for it, I mean, I've wanted it for so long. I'm just gonna, pay for it. I know how to quarantine the fish now. I'm kind of more sure of myself in quarantining the fish. Just gonna go for it, and you can tell, you can see him. He's still kind of, he's the boss of the tank, but he's not like overly aggressive towards anybody.
So I have a question. So back to the filtration. So just a skimmer. What else? Do you use socks?
Use socks sparingly. Not really. I don't upkeep on them overflowing. So if I want to polish the tank or uh if I'm doing a water change or something and I want to vacuum out the sand, sometimes I'll pop a filter sock on the sump, and I'll just do a
Uh-huh.
water change into the filter sock while the tank is running. So I kind of just filtered the detritus into the tank without really doing a water change.
Nice.
And I think I
So no
had
filter socks, it's just a skimmer.
no filter socks, just sparing leaves, just the skimmer, the baffles, and no refugium right now. Not much mechanical filtration except for the skimmer. Yeah.
Wow, that looks
Carbon
incredible.
dose?
Are you
I
carbon
could
dosing?
carbon dosing, no. No, I'm not. Basically, I'm not dosing anything except kalkwasser and two-part when needed. And what else was I used to dose amino acids, but I stopped. I'm not really keeping up on that either. And what else was I dosing? I tried to start dosing that. What is it? It's by not Reef Labs. That company
Uh,
that Chris Meckley is always talking about. I forgot.
Fauna Marine,
Captivate?
Captivate or something. Captivate
Captivate.
Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that little eyedropper, the one with like a couple trace elements in it.
But how often do you do water changes then?
So I was going to say, so you're water changing all your nutrient export then, right?
Yeah, for the most part. This is that thing I was talking about. The
What's in
isolate
there?
MT. Isolate MT says
Oh,
minor trace element solution. I don't know. It's got some
bacteria dosing? Question mark.
no bacteria dosing.
Jesus, look
It's
at
like I
that
told the
tank.
guy. It's like I told the guys before the stream. I think a couple days ago. I'm like, this tank is really low maintenance, so it's not gonna be much for me to kind of talk about. So I hope people bring their questions.
No, that's amazing. That's incredible. The simplicity of reef keeping is the best, and it sounds like, you found your way of doing things because that tank looks incredible.
Yeah, I agree. The more elegant solutions are the less complicated one. Every piece of equipment is just something else to fail and go
Right.
wrong. I mean, yours is you've got a rhythm probably. You know where you can take a vacation and all hell's not going to break loose because something loses power or something like that, or a piece of equipment. I mean, so
Yeah, I mean, I run the Apex, but it's very minimal. I mean, I have my halides on it. I have the ATO hooked up to it and the skimmer, and that's basically it. I mean, I know some of these other guys have like, a whole plethora of things connected to it, and I thought I was gonna need it too, but I don't know. I find that a couple things plugged into it right now, and everything's running fine.
It's kind
Yeah,
of like
plus all the programming, sorry,
no,
on
no,
the
no.
Apex, all the programming. Jesus, I feel like I have to be IT programmer.
Right, right.
Yeah, this is
I
like
want it
this is like an
simple.
old school system. That's what I love about it. It's like kind of old school.
Hmm.
You got
It
a
is, yeah, it is. That's what I
yeah,
tell everybody. It is old school. I mean, yeah, I've been doing it. So this is how I know how long I've been doing it. It's the year that Finding Nemo came out because that's what kind of got me into keeping reef tanks. So whatever year that came out, that's kind of when I started reef keeping. I'm like, man, if they can keep a fish tank with fake plants, saltwater fish, then maybe I'll give it a shot. So,
I mean,
So do we blame the Finding Nemo for you to get into this addiction?
yeah, basically, pretty much, I'm one of those guys, but I stuck around for it afterwards.
That's awesome.
Did you start with saltwater or did you kind of graduate from like freshwater or something like that?
I can't remember. I had a couple freshwater tanks, but they never really interested me. When I was younger, my parents weren't, not that they weren't big on pets, but it just wasn't something that, especially fish tanks. So as I got older, I kind of dabbled into it. But again, everything kind of originated from, I grew up in Florida, so I was born in Hollywood. So I was always near the water. So when I started snorkeling, that's kind of what triggered my, I wanted to bring stuff home with me. So I guess that's what you would say kind of triggered me wanting to start up a reef tank. I tried freshwater tanks a couple times. Um, I kind of lost interest. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I was always intrigued by the, the saltwater aspect of it.
It's really showing that you see the ocean in your tank. Like it's so natural.
So that's what I was trying to do with the tank. That's why I like the depth of it. I didn't want to. So basically, the same amount of rock that I had in the 200 is what I have in this tank, and I wanted to keep it. This coral right now, unfortunately, fell over. It's supposed to be on this rock here, but my preference is to have a lot of open sandscape because that's kind of what I see when I go diving and snorkeling down here. You see a lot of rock
Hmm.
pile and then sand around the coral. So that's just my style. I like to see the white open sand, and I knew I wanted a good amount of fish and an Achilles and wrasses. So that's kind of why I kept the rock work low. But you can see the Milka stylo right there, and like I forgot what coral that is, but they're starting to fill up now the vertical space.
So does anybody else have any questions? I mean, y'all coming, I'll jump in here.
Is there any
Sorry, I
coral you
took
found
over
that
it.
you can't see?
That's okay.
Somebody said something, but I couldn't understand it.
Did you start with dry rock or live?
So yeah, I started with dry, but that was in the 200 gallon or the 196. And that one took a heck of a long time to get started. That one really gave me a hard time starting it with dry rock because like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we didn't have all this information with bacteria dosing and all that stuff. So, I mean,
So
I
you went
really
through
had,
all the uglies.
yeah, hair algae and bryopsis and figuring out why my coral are not growing and all this other stuff until finally, after like a year, things started to level off. So, but this rock is now established because it was previously in the other tank. So technically, no, this tank didn't start with dry rock, but it was dry rock at one point when I started the previous tank.
I
Is
have
there any coral that you
I have
found
a
that you can't
couple.
see?
Oops.
So
Go ahead,
I was
Ken.
going to ask you about your Genacanthus angels, the swallowtails.
Yeah.
I, I have a male Lamarck and two females, and I noticed yours is really calm and doesn't chase them around and harass them constantly. Is that just me?
Um, yeah, he's pretty chill. So what happened was I had this one first, this female. Where is she? There she is. And I always wanted a pair, and I had bad experience with buying a pair one time. I think I don't know what happened with them, but I think they came in blind. So when I put them in the tank, they basically just stayed undercover. They wouldn't eat. Like you would see them try to go for food, but something just wasn't right. And then they kind of just I figured out that I was able to just scoop it out with the net. So I figured it was blind. So that one didn't make it. So then I bought the where's the other one? A small one. I was hoping that, I heard some people say that they can they transition possibly eventually. So I bought the small one to hope that larger female would transition, but that didn't happen. And I found the male uh on at a store on the East Coast that I go to when I visit my in-laws. So I picked it up and I figured, we'll go for a trio, but he doesn't really chase them. It's more of the larger female kind of going after the smaller female than anything, but nothing to where, it makes me worry that, they're gonna kill each other off or something.
What's the tank dimensions again?
The width of it, I'm not positive. I think it's about 84, and the depth front to back is 36, and the height is 24. So I like the deep and shallow tanks.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to do when I upgrade. I just want that back to front depth.
Yeah, the front to back depth is crazy. My favorite, people when they come and look at the tank, they obviously come and look at it from the front, but for me, I usually just put my chair here on the end of the tank and I just sit and look through it from here.
I know that's my favorite view of my tank too on the side.
Yeah.
Is there any type of coral that you found that you can't keep?
Yeah. I'll show it to you right now. For some reason, I can't for the life of me keep Millipora alive. I don't know why.
Millie?
Yeah, I just don't know why I can't. They just don't like this tank. They'll do okay for like a week or two, and then slowly they'll start losing polyps, and then they'll just start STNing over a couple months. Right.
I
And
know
I've
you're
tried that.
simple reefer, but what salt are you using?
Instant Ocean.
Instant Ocean, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you considered doing ICP to see why?
I
Maybe.
have done ICP, yeah, when I was having issues with that Monty cap,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the parameters were okay, except for, like I said, the potassium came in low a little bit. So I might do it again, but it's just I've tried it over and over. Oh, and also for some reason, uh, digitatas. I've tried 3 times already. The what is it?
Bubble
The
gum?
red, the bubble gum, yeah, or the fire one, whichever one else that one is, the other one, the fancy one, and they just bleach out on me. I don't know. I'm not sure
Huh.
if it's because everybody now keeps. One theory I have is everybody basically keeps their corals now under LEDs, and it's a
Uh,
lot harder to transition from LEDs to halides. It's easier the other way around, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still working on that.
yeah, I find it interesting too with the lights. That's a good point. But Monty's, I feel like with digitata or Montipora, I really to me they're magnesium. When the magnesium is low, then they want
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They're like my indicator, my magnesium is low.
And yeah, and I know that I'm aware of that because I have other. But the thing is weird is that it's just the digitatas because you can see the plates.
They're
The
doing great. Yeah.
The Monty caps are doing great. I have a X Factor here and a Season's Greeting back there. I have, uh, I think this is like a Phoenix down here. So it's like it's just the digitatas. So something's weird with the digitatas.
Oh, it's funny that you say that. I have the orange digitata that I inherited from the local reefer that was actually running halide. It didn't start growing on me until 2 years after.
Yeah. So I think maybe the transition from halide to LEDs or LEDs to halides, they just don't like it.
And I heard there's some corals that will just not going to do anything for a year or 6 months from either way.
Yeah, it's possible too.
Gorgeous
Uh,
tank. I'm in love. Stunning.
I see you have the MP40s on the back. How high do you run those to avoid, or does your sand always get pushed back? Or
Um, let's see here. So they're about
looks like 70% on one of them.
yeah, about 70 on 2 of them, and this one's on 100. Yeah, so
And you're
yeah,
running what that's special grade, or
this is special grade. Yeah, that's my favorite type of sand.
it doesn't ever get bare on the front? Because I mean, I don't have the depth that you have. I only have a little over
It
two
does.
feet.
It does a little bit. There's a couple spots. Yeah.
And I have one other random question. It is for everybody. I see you have the mag float, I think is that. I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody has experience with multiple different scrapers, but just kind of a general thought. What is your the best experience so far with the scraper and why?
This one I'm basically using as my algae feeder. The one that I, the one that I have for cleaning is the what is it? The Max, the flipper.
What I use, I can't remember, but mine is
I've
like the
I've done
shark.
The Tunzi care magnets are awesome. They're just like only blades touching the glass. So if you have anything tough like coralline algae, the Tunzi scrapers are awesome.
I'm trying to figure out because I have a flipper. Well, I have two different ones. I have 3/4 inch glass, and I was using the normal one, but I also have the max, which I'm reluctant to use because I don't know how, but I've already gotten some scratches on my glass from I think scraping, and I don't ever come close to the sand. I try to use just
Have you tried
the
algae free? The Hammerhead Float Plus because I have 3/4 inch glass as well, and that's the only one that I would ever use.
the algae free. Oh, those are like the ones that they look like wood. Is that the one?
Yes, yes, it's phenomenal. I finally have to replace the blade after about a year and a half, but they send you like 2 or 3 blades. Works phenomenal.
And
As
are you
far as
saying
the
it?
back,
Yeah, are you saying
mhm,
it works great just because of the magnet strength? Is that the primary reason?
magnet and clean portion of it doesn't scratch the glass, and the blade never gets blade is strong and it never gets banded or anything like that. I don't have any scratches, and I've been doing it for years.
Wow, I'll have to look into that.
Do you leave your scraper in the tank?
No,
I
I do
do.
not.
So I do, but I leave the scrubbing pad side, and then I leave so I have it vertical like yours is on the side, except I leave the metal part, the blade above water, and I always have it on the scrubbing pad side of the magnet when I have it stored, kind of stored away in the back. And then I typically only use the scrubbing pad to try and wipe away the film, and then I only start using the blade if it's like some caked on algae.
Yeah, I always
I
clean mine. I take it out every time.
Yeah, I have a good habit of just taking it out.
It
If I like
helps too.
forget to like clean it or something, I've got like spiroid worms that grow really quickly. So sometimes they'll just,
Yeah, that could be
in a
the
rush
part of
will
what's
like
scratching
scratch
the
it.
glass.
I've used the mag floats. I have some like off-brand like flipper one that I've used for a long time that don't have any problems with. Just throws stuff in the pad too quick, so I can't leave it in.
Not the promotion or anything, but I've tried every scraper that you could try on the back or like any of the small parts where you're actually, you know, doesn't work when you clean your glass. Little Fishy makes the best scraper ever. I swear by that thing.
Maybe I was counterproductive with my thinking then, because I went with like I said, I have both the regular and the max, and I'm supposed to use the max because of the magnet strength and the 3/4 glass. But I was thinking, I don't want too much pressure just in case I get scratches. Maybe that is why I got scratches because it's not the proper strength.
How often are you scraping?
Um, I do the what are the sponge side like every other day depending on if I can see a green film or not, because I don't want it to get caked on, so I usually just always use the scrubbing pad side because it's soft, but maybe twice a week I'll have to actually use the bladed side.
I try to do as often, like at least from like a maintenance, like fish maintenance aspect, because I work at a store. For me, the displays get like a magnet scrub every day, and it keeps kind of any of the harder like coralline algae or anything like that from building up. So it's just soft algae, so I don't have to like kind of worry about that. And then I completely avoid at least like an inch or 2 inches above the sand if I've got it in there, just so I don't accidentally like kip up or kick up dust or anything like that. And then I go through with a manual razor blade scraper and clean the bottom like rim.
You said the tank brand was Planet Aquarium?
Um, I think so. I'm not exactly sure what the guy said. I mean, I think it's Planet Aquarium. Uh, all I know is that it's the guys that make the tanks that have like the PVC bottom. So it's basically 3/4 inch Starfire glass. three sides. The back is black and the bottom is like PVC. It's like a black PVC, but it's built like a tank. I mean, it has like a steel rim on it, powder coated. The bottom is when I bought the tank, when I got the tank, I was kind of like confused as how it was built. So it's basically like got a PVC bottom that has channels on the sides. So the back and the side and the front glasses basically kind of sit inside of the PVC bottom like a channel. So like, I mean, I don't know how this tank would spring a leak.
Yeah, they make it was Planet Aquarium. They make amazing tanks because they used to be that's like the old Oceanic, and then the guys that were doing that then split off and formed Planet Aquarium. Yeah, they're out of Dallas. They're great tank builders.
Yeah, so
So I noticed you had a pintail in there, and when you do maintenance, like you have to take off the lid. You ever have a problem with him jumping out on you?
no, nothing that I've noticed. I have the some mesh lids, so it's basically the tank is kind of split in three based on how the rim is built. So when I do maintenance, I kind of just take one at a time off. But I haven't. I know they're jumpers, and he does. You can see where he's always. Right now the angel is kind of next to him, but he's always kind of like up near a corner or something. He always likes to hang out towards the top. So I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had terrible luck because I used to, quarantine those like all the time. And once they would complete quarantine, I'd move them into retail. And of course, I was only putting them in like I think 40 breeders. It wasn't big tanks. And I mean, it seemed like every time I would have to take the lid off because I'm taking the lid off every day to like catch fish, to bag fish up to send out. I'd have one of those it seemed every single time trying to jump out of the
Right.
tanker. I had one time one actually jump up like I mean, it had to be like at least 12 inches in the air, hit the light. Of course, it's like, mounted above the tank. And I just had the worst time with those just constantly trying to jump on me.
Yeah, yeah, they're jumpers. This tank, uh, yeah, it has the lid and it also has that perimeter brace. So right now, so far, I've been lucky with it. I mean, those are one of my favorite wrasses. So
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Yeah, the only one I like better is the diamond tail. But the pintails are awesome.
yeah, the diamond tail, the rhomboid, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Those are amazing. Yep.
that's the one that I lost last month to that neurological disease or whatever that was.
Yeah, that really, oh yeah, I know that really, and they're not cheap. They're expensive wrasses. The rhomboid and
Yeah.
Miatas, yeah. So does anybody else have any other questions? I mean, I think Vince, you're on mute. You're
Oh, I see. My bread maker has been going off, so Bobby, you look like you're the Godfather right now.
I look like the Godfather.
I don't know. You like the entire time you're just like shaded, like you got your hat on,
Yeah.
and then like it's just been like this mystery man the entire time.
Yeah, my wife was like, "You got to turn on lights." And she like started turning on lights all in the room. Like, nobody wants to see me. Don't worry about the lights.
Lives in the shadow. No, I was saying is we can open it up to general discussion if there's anything anybody.
Okay. Yeah, let's. Everybody wants to talk about anything,
Thank you.
anything at all.
How was your Florida trip, Bobby?
Oh, good. We've been here a
Nice
week.
and warm?
Yeah, we've been here about a week now. And we're like, yeah, we're at the condo right now, and we're looking at houses. Starting to look at houses, looking at different options to buy, rent, whatever we're gonna do. So, make contact with some real estate agents. So we're kind of starting to try to figure it out. We got until July, But yeah, so yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's good. It's really good here. It's weather's been in the 70s. We already got a sunburn one day because we're out on the beach too long. So
Where'd you say you're from? Where are you at now?
so I'm complicated. So I'm technically living. Yeah, I'm complicated. So I'm technically we're living in Arkansas right now. My wife's from Arkansas, and but we're not like we don't want to stay there long term. So we used to live on the Florida Panhandle in Navarre, and we're looking to possibly move back. So we're here kind of looking around 'cause our lease is up in July where we currently live, and we want to get things situated so we can either rent or buy. But before that, we were like my wife and I we were on like this road trip for years. We're both digital nomads, so we were just like traveling all over the country, staying in like Airbnbs and condos for a few weeks at a time or a month at a
You
time.
live in a dream. You live an American dream.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. But I think we're ready to settle down and lay down some roots again and buy a
That's
house
awesome.
maybe. Yeah.
Navarre's nice. It's kind of sleepy and tucked away. A lot of people don't really know about Navarre because of Destin gets. I'm from that area originally, but yeah, Destin gets all the attention.
Yeah, but Navarre is if you haven't seen Navarre in a
I've
while,
s- yeah,
you're
I've been there a couple years ago, but it's been a while. They were building condos quick last time we were there.
Yeah, there's apartments being built now. They've got like more restaurants and businesses here now. Yeah, people are quickly finding out about Navarre, so and then like I don't know if you're probably familiar with 30A. That's just ridiculous. I mean, they're pretty much going to have all the way from Pensacola to Panama City Beach on Highway 98 is going to be nothing but stuff and condos and restaurants and
It's everywhere.
it's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Idaho too. You're lucky we're been so cold this week. We're gonna be like 8 degrees tonight.
Oh wow.
It's cold.
See,
That's
that's
sad.
why.
Last time I was in Navarre, there was only one restaurant. It was like Juan's or something. It was on the corner and the bridge when you come over, and it was like the only restaurant there.
Oh, they've got restaurants everywhere in Navarre now. I mean, they're just it's like, yeah. I mean, there's like they've got like fast food places everywhere. I mean, it's
That
blown up.
What's
sucks.
the
It
what's
totally
the
lost its
population used to
charm.
be, Lee? What's the population used to be there?
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't lived there in like 30 years. So I was a kid when I was growing up in the Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach area and stuff. So I couldn't say. I've gone back to visit a few times just for vacation, going to Destin. And then my dad was thinking of getting a condo in Navarre. So we visited a couple times and really enjoyed how sleepy the place was. Like there was almost no development. So it was nice just to have the beaches and stuff. But it doesn't sound like that's the way it is anymore.
Well, but you're talking about Navarre Beach, right? Not Navarre itself.
Yeah, Navarre Beach. So
Okay,
maybe I should
okay.
have specified.
Yeah, Navarre. Yeah, so Navarre Beach is, I mean, there's definitely more condos and they're building all kind of houses over there. But yeah, there's like well, there's more than I think one restaurant now. Like I think they actually have like a hotel over there has a restaurant. But yeah. So like yeah, Navarre Beach is still not too bad. But Navarre is what like when you go over the bridge over the causeway, like that is just got Navarre is getting like it's growing up a lot. Like I think there's like in Navarre, there might be like 30 or 40,000 people now in Navarre, not Navarre Beach.
Gotcha. Yeah, beautiful area. I have a friend that lives in Gulf Shores, and I used to go visit him. That's a really pretty area too.
Yeah, it's and then like I said, 38 has just gotten, it's like well, like like Elisa said, I mean, everywhere you go now, it's just getting crowded. So
It's nuts. It's crazy everywhere. And I've been in Idaho and Boise area for 24 years now, and it's insane. I used to drive to pick up my daughter um from Boys and Girls Club, and you drive through the onion field during the summer and it's like 100 degrees weather and you can smell those onions. Now you drive and there's like big old moles and developments. It's like no more onions.
Yeah. Yeah.
John, beautiful tank. Well done. I'm jealous.
Very
Thank
nice.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, man. You're doing what a lot of people can't. You're doing the QT thing and you've got the corals going on. That's a harder balance to strike than I think most people would give it credit for.
Raise your hand if you like the tank or you like the fish pond. Both, right?
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna get my wife to like watch this later, once I like, like record it and put it on the YouTube channel. So I'm like, okay, look, this guy has got a 300-gallon tank and he's got a saltwater fish pond in his house.
Pond, right?
We're doing that. I'm like, I'm doing that once we buy.
Pond, fish, pond. It's good.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I was
You can
always really
quarantine in
jealous
a
of
little pond. It's just amazing that you can bring stuff from the ocean, put it in there. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I have that yellow chorus wrasse that I got years ago that I buy them usually when they're small for the red bugs, flatworms, and stuff. And he's big now. He's changing into a male. I can see it on his face, and he's starting to chase the smaller
Is
chorus.
there just that the mine is about 3 years old? Is that the color in the face when they change
Yeah,
to the
he's getting green and he's getting really boisterous. So I'm thinking somehow I might just trap him soon and put him in the pond and let him grow over there.
Yeah, my acropora eating flatworms. He loves those things.
Yeah.
My leopard rest doesn't want anything to do with it. My royal grandma is very disappointed because there's no more flatworms left. She literally sits right there, like waiting for it when I blow them off. Nothing comes on. She's like, "What the heck?"
Right, right. Well, it's a good problem to have.
You
Yeah.
said you had Atlantic grasses in your pond. Are you talking like a chorus, Atlantic chorus?
No, they're called. I don't know the scientific name, but they have a really interesting common name. It's called the slippery dick. So if you look on Google,
Yep,
you
I
look
know
on
that
Google,
rest.
that's what they're called. And then there's another one, a pudding wife. So basically, all you have to do here in the Keys is like just get a sabiki rig and tip it with some squid and just toss it into like the grass patches. You'll either catch those guys or some pinfish or something. So,
Yeah, here, like under the Destin Bridge, like the pylons, they're all around the pylons and everything. Those wrasses, they're slippery dick.
yeah,
Yep.
right.
They're not like the most colorful wrasse,
No, they're not.
but
They're not.
What
hey,
are they called again?
slippery dick. That's what they're called. There's a slippery dick wrasse. I don't know what the scientific name is, but they're all over Florida.
Yep.
I have a
Oh yeah.
tongue.
I must have missed that. I had to I cut I had I was traveling between this meet. So you said you're in the Keys?
No, I'm in Naples, but we drive down to the Keys,
Close enough, yeah.
once or twice a year for vacation or like even for like a quick weekend.
Any other? Have you ever caught a Molly Miller blenny?
I think I did when I was younger when we were snorkeling. I just didn't know what it was. If it's one of those like darker green colored, they have like a little red mohawk on their head or something.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like, I can't remember now, but I know J Posh on the forum, and there's other people that are like, they really like them, and I want to say they claim they eat is it
Aptasia,
Aptasia, right? Yeah, they eat Aptasia, and I think they eat other pests. They're like a really
like
cool.
Valonia and stuff. So I still have one from Joe's like first batch, I think, that he gave Biota. Like he was teasing it and then I like contacted my rep and he was like, yeah, I got him. And then it ate Aptasia for me.
Wow.
So I was pretty happy with that.
And those are everywhere here. I mean, of course, you have to be careful because there's other blennies that look like them, but like I know here on the Panhandle, that's another very common blenny that you can find, like on the rock or whatever. They're usually like in the like they actually kind of hang out more like not like more like in the bays and everything. And then there's like these grassy areas. I don't know what the stuff is. You'll see them a lot of time, and they are sometimes they'll be like under a rock or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm trying to catch one of those blue or queen angels or the French angels. Those are the ones that I'm kind of going after, but I just haven't had luck.
if you ever see it, they're kind of rare, but there's a town with, I mean, I think there's a Townsend, which is a hybrid, which is a blue and a queen together, like a hybrid, like the blue and a queen got it on and had a hybrid.
Yeah, I mean I've heard of them. I don't know. I might have seen it. I just didn't know what it was. But yeah.
Yeah, because they have those here too. They're not as common as down where you are, but every now and then you'll see those here as well, usually along the jetties.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some pike I can catch, some bluegills.
You got the from the Great Lakes, huh? From Lake Michigan.
Yeah, get some carp. Could get one of those in my tank. It looks really pretty. Yeah, yeah. Actually,
The
I'll get a
garbage fish,
yeah, I'll get
the
a
carps.
pumpkin seed perch in my like feeder fish orders. Those are pretty cool. Those are
Mm.
like basically little cichlids.
Who give him a name Slippery Dick? Slippery Richard? Come on. So
Oh, they
pretty.
called. Hang on. Oh, you found it. It's a let's see, slippery.
It's a bivitatis.
I put the up. Yeah, I can't
There it
do the
is.
name.
Yeah, it's
Slippery Richard.
yeah, it's a helicoris. Yeah, like Vince said, bivitatis. Is how you pronounce that? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a helicoris wrasse, but it's like, and apparently the male.
Shallow waters.
I mean, it looks like the male's kind of pretty. Like the ones I've usually collected look like the females more, but like there's a male here they're showing in terminal phase, and it looks pretty.
Yeah, if you guys look for the other one that I caught is the pudding wife. Those are more colorful. If you look at that one, but those get pretty big. Those have really pretty nice colors for a wrasse local to here down in Florida.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Have you ever seen a rock beauty?
Yeah, but those are not as common down here. Yeah, I have seen it though.
It's
Yeah,
called Pudding Wife.
Yep, pudding wife. Some
That's
weird name
funny.
for the fish down here.
There's two fish I want from your area. One's a Atlantic chorus wrasse. It's not very common. Sometimes they call them rainbow wrasse. Of course, like 5 different wrasses are called rainbow wrasse, so go figure. Um, and then a spotted drum. I've heard you can get those down there in Florida as well. Another uncommon fish.
I'll have to
They're
look up
cool.
that wrasse. I don't know what that looks like. Yeah.
Spotted drums are cool. I watch there's a guy called
Chorus Atlantica. Go
Lionfish
ahead.
That's right,
Extermination.
Chorus Atlantica. Yep, that's the correct one.
So there's a guy called Lionfish Extermination Corps, and he'll take you and do it. It does a bunch of like social media videos on like hunting lionfish, but he also takes time to like point out little fish, and he'll like find like little spotted drums and stuff, and it's like it's so tiny, and then so surprised you can see them.
Yeah, the juveniles look really crazy because they've got a really long fin coming off the top. And then as
Oh,
adults, they kind of elongate, but they're really pretty. And I had one.
I
They're
think they're called down here. I don't know what I know them
high
as.
hat.
Maybe it's the same hi hats. Yeah.
High hat's a different species, but
Okay.
same like yeah, it's the same type of fish, but the high hat's like slightly different. If you see a spotted drum, they're both drums. But the spotted drums I think a lot prettier than the high hats are. They're just really hard to find. I heard they used to be more common in like the 90s and stuff. I got my hands on one 2 years ago. I kept it for about 6 months and it just kind of wasted away. So
Mm.
they're kind of tough fish. It was expensive too. Paid don't even want to say what I paid. $750 for that thing from marine collectors.
Nice.
How
I hate to
much?
think about that. $750. That was the most expensive fish I've ever lost.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trust me.
there's a place down here if you guys ever come to the Keys. It's an old quarry. It's about halfway down the Keys, and it's called Horseshoe Beach. So it's like an old quarry where they used to that's where they dug out all the limestone for the bridges when they made the bridges down the Keys. So now it's basically all enclosed in. It's collapsed, and it's a known site for snorkeling. It's basically like maybe 10, 15 feet deep around the perimeter, and then it drops to like 40 or 50 feet. And that's where I go to snorkel, and I get a lot of my inverts and brittle stars, and you see a ton of fish there. I almost caught, I'm not sure what that local butterfly is here that they have down in the Keys. I haven't really researched the spot, twin spot, or I'm not sure what it is, but they have tons of parrotfish there and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's pretty cool if you guys ever come down here. And it's like off the beaten path, so it's not like a public known thing. It's called Horseshoe Beach.
You don't scuba dive?
I do. Yeah.
Hey, Lee, what was that fish you were looking for? Called again?
Both Chorus Atlantica, the Atlantic chorus wrasse, and then the other one's a spotted drum.
Oh, okay.
Spotted drum wrasse?
No, here it is.
No, it's not a wrasse. It's drums are
Oh.
like I don't know if they're a snapper. They're their own.
It's like redfish.
Punctatus?
Yeah, look in the
Ribbon fish.
Lee, look in the chat. KP Aquatics is going to have all that stuff.
Yeah, they're down in the Keys, right?
Yeah, yeah. KP Aquatics is probably where you want to look for that kind of stuff.
Ooh, yeah, I'll check it out. I've heard the juveniles are very, 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 very hard to get through for whatever reason. Apparently, once they're adults, they're a little bit easier. They all come with the same problem. They need live foods to be weaned on. But the juveniles are apparently borderline impossible. But I would still give it a shot at what, $175 here instead of 750.
Well, the
Yeah.
juvenile thing is like about this big, and when they get adults, it's about this big. They're
Yeah, it's
pretty.
insane.
I've never even heard of fish like that. Thanks for pointing out.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube called Viking Reefer or Norwegian
Viking,
Reefer, something
yeah.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
Viking.
He had a spotted drum for I don't know, it just disappeared from his videos one day, so I am assuming he ran into
Lost
the same yeah, but it was like
He
talk
has
about
the
a
most
centerpiece
exclusive
fish.
fish ever on
Yeah,
his.
yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just the same way this guy's tank is the Achilles tang really is the centerpiece fish. Spotted drum can be a centerpiece fish. They
Yeah.
will eat inverts though. That's the only problem with them. So
Yep.
Just have to buy a cleanup crew all the time to keep them happy.
Yeah, the one I want to do once if I get like a fish only is a rock beauty because I mean those are like almost impossible to keep alive because they supposedly need sponge. But I noticed that KP sells different species of sponge, so I'm kind of wondering if like I could get some sponge in my tank and kind of get harvest it and kind of get it to propagate in the tank. Could I have enough growing to feed a rock beauty angel? Because I mean I love those. Those are just amazing angel.
I can tell you guys so much into fish. I love my corals. Sorry.
We're fish guys.
Yeah, I could tell when I met you, Bobby. Bobby was all about nerding out about the quarantine and fish. I was like, oh my God, he is a truly, truly passionate guy about fish. He really is.
I'm a fish nerd.
You are a quarantine medical, like all of these things. And I'm like, oh my God. Oof. I'm just
me
gonna
and
pay for someone to do it.
my wife got into it for the coral, but we stayed for the fish, and we quit doing coral because we were just like, fish are enough
Hard.
work as it is. Yeah, so you kind of got to choose, right? So like that's why. What is your name, John? Is that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
John. That's it. That's why I'm always impressed when somebody can strike the balance because it's really hard. Like you almost have to choose which child you like more, right? Do you like the fish or do you like the coral? Because sometimes you reach those walls and it's not always compatible. So when people
True.
can, yeah, do them both, that's awesome. So
Yeah, it was fish for me when I was younger. It was I didn't know what coral was, so I always was attracted to the fish. But once you get into reef keeping, you kind of get sucked into the coral. But I mean, as you can see on my tank, I'm a big fish guy. So
no, it shows. I mean, that's really awesome. I was actually when you started, I didn't know who you were until you started talking about your rhomboid, and I knew exactly who you were. But
right.
before that, I was expected to say like all your fish aren't quarantined. So I was really shocked when you said that.
Yeah. This tank was. I tried quarantine before, before I was on the forums here on Humblefish, and yeah, it just never really worked out. And I don't know why. Maybe it was the ammonia, maybe it was just stuff that I didn't. So, when fish start dying in quarantine, you kind of just give up quarantining. So,
Frustrating.
yeah.
And it's not a
That's
perfect
the whole
science.
hobby, not just the fish, corals, and everything else.
Well,
That's
that's why me and my wife decided to quit doing the corals. We're like, we have enough problems on our hands keeping all these fish alive. We had a coral frag tank for a while, and because we were putting everything through 72 days, and we were spending so much time on the fish. Algae was taking over, and we're like, forget this, man. Like, I don't even want to mess with this anymore. Like, we'll come back to corals once we really have our fish solid. So yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of where we're at.
Why not just get like some soft corals and just let them grow wild? I mean, at least you'd
I
have like
can't
some.
because we packed angels and butterflies in this freaking tank. So
I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of tough because yeah, even like the angels, they'll start eating like the soft corals. Sometimes you can get some leathers and they'll leave them alone because the leathers are noxious tasting and they don't want to mess with those. But yeah, I saw one time, like, especially like, I don't know if you have like an emperor or whatever. I mean, those are just,
I do.
yeah, those are so destructive,
Yeah. I have an emperor. I have a raccoon. I have a yeah.
Yeah.
I got some of the most destructive
You
stuff
get the
you can
worst fish
have.
for like corals, yeah.
Yeah, my
So
wife liked the emperor, but I told her that one might have to go in the pond outside.
You have an option at least.
they're cool. I didn't know this until we got ours. They grunt. It's so weird. Like you'll be downstairs here and the lights will be off and you will think somebody's dragging furniture across your floor. This fish
I've heard
grunt. It's
about
like
that.
bruh, 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 bruh. It's really
You need
weird.
to record it. That's pretty cool. I think I only heard once. That's pretty neat.
Oh, mine does it all the time. If he's in his, I mean, he's nice too. He's kind of a gentle giant. He's the king of the tank, but he's a gentle giant. But if anybody gets in his area, it's his way of telling him. He starts grunting, and it's the weirdest sound. So I don't have any other fish that make any noise but him.
That's
Weird.
crazy. I don't have any fish that makes noise.
You'll know
Have,
if you get an
have you
emperor
tried
angel.
a majestic before?
I've got a majestic, but it's still pretty small. Like I bought the majestic and my emperor from Biota at the same time, and they came in at the same size. And the emperor is like, I don't know, I'm looking at him right now. He's like 8 inches almost, 7 at least, and my majestic's no bigger than any other centropide. Like a, he's like the size of a large dwarf angel right now. So the majestic grows way slower. So maybe if you're gonna tell me he grunts, he hasn't started that behavior yet.
Yeah, they are slow growers. Yeah, the emperors grow really fast.
It shocked us how quick ours grew. Yeah, it was our fastest growing fish by far. That and my sailfin tang. That thing grew fast too.
Huge fish.
Yeah,
Just gets so big.
definitely.
Yeah, we'll see. I just I had Jeff order me a Burgess butterfly, and we'll.
I saw that. Lucky you, 200 and some odd dollars. Like those are normally like way more than that.
I was so
You're
shocked. I
lucky.
was really, really prepared to like drop for 100. I was like, there's no way this is so cheap. You're kidding me. But no, that's actually my Secret Santa's gifting that to me. So
Oh wow.
Wow,
I am
nice.
not
You
paying
got
for that,
lucky.
actually. Yes. There's a hookup there. But we'll
Nice.
see what it likes. I hope that it doesn't bother my clams. I don't know which one will have to go. Probably the
I've
clam.
heard ropes are generally your safer bet
Yeah.
with
That's why I went for it.
butterflies. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I have another tank just in case.
Vince,
You
are
know?
you doing the tank or did I miss it?
You missed it. It was the last one.
It was? Damn. Oh, it was
Yeah.
on my birthday. That's why I need to watch it.
It's on the YouTube channel. I think I
Is that
uploaded.
on January 14th? That was my birthday. I was like, you guys not doing that on my birthday.
Oh, we're sorry.
Bobby, I think you might want to consider, you or Vince or however you guys promote this stuff, like putting a thing out like a day ahead or something. I was really lucky. I just happened to be on tonight. I was
A week
working.
before would be nice. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
Keep
easy to
promoting it.
forget.
Yeah, this one unfortunately, because I was like, it just, I don't know, it just fell by the wayside, and like I was off the forum this weekend because Super Bowl was Sunday and all that, so I was busy. But then I just saw the private message on
Who
my,
watches foosball? Come on.
I love football.
Yeah, usually I organize it like a week in advance to make sure, but I kind of
But
dropped
like
the ball a little bit.
I sent out I think this morning I sent out like email alerts to everybody that signed up to get email alerts. So I mean, I sent out email alerts. I did like about a couple hours before we went live. I did like a like private, like an alert on a forum wide alert. I even went on like Facebook and posted it, and I went on Instagram and posted it. And I mean,
Yes, you did. I'm proud of you.
see,
And I shared.
See, I know how to use social media a little bit, I'm not on TikTok yet, but I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
TikTok is the next thing. Just saying.
Well, I got to wait and see if TikTok's still going to be around in 90 days or not before I decide to join it. Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
not going anywhere. If you guys need
No.
some help, let me know. I'm always at computer. I'm doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
If I need to push something or create something, just let me know. It takes me 5 minutes.
yeah, maybe the next one we'll kind of like do it maybe more like a week in advance, and then maybe there'll be more time to kind of promote it and everything. So, but
Really,
it's kind of
Lee's
cool
just
in a
saying
way.
this so that we can get ahead of for his. That's what.
No. That's actually, I was actually
You
gonna
gotta
say,
advertise
I'm
Yeah,
not
before
saying
me.
it because of
You
that.
next?
Actually,
He's next, right? He's next
yeah,
up, right?
it's supposed to be. I actually got to talk to you guys about that because I'm gonna be going to some training for the time period. So we either need to punt my date to the end of March, or I got to swap with whoever's in April or something like that. Because
We could do whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I'm in the Army, and sometimes stuff comes up, and something came up, so I'll be gone the first 2 weeks
We'll go
roughly
in
of March.
March. It's fine. You
Yeah,
can
we
have
got
me.
end of March works, right, Vince?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it end of March. Yeah. That works better for me too, because like I won't I'm in Florida to the 8th, and then I go back to Arkansas, so that'll give me more time. Like I can do this again once I go back to Arkansas in March. Yeah.
That works. I
Yeah,
appreciate
just
it.
go into the registration and say what. Just remind me.
Alyssa, do you have anything scheduled?
I do not. I've been
You're
held
gonna
to
have to get on
Nevada.
that. You're
Why
gonna have to get
not?
on that.
Yeah, why not? I
I
think
need to.
so. Vince, what do we have? Like, what openings do you have? I know you got. So we got Lee
I'm
from
completely
March.
free after Lee. I haven't.
Well,
No, Vince doesn't want me because I miss his. He doesn't want me. I get it.
wait. We have. So wait. So we're as of April, we're open.
Yeah, we're open. I gotta
Well,
try
Elisa,
to
I
wrangle
think
some
April has
people.
got to be you, right?
Okay. Sounds good.
Got to sign up. Yeah, get with Vince and sign up. You can show your tank off in April.
Sounds
That's why I was
good.
like that's why I was opening up. Like we could try to do some sort of like special topic instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got some dry
Well, and
spells.
we can even get like whatever you want to do. Like I could probably talk to TJ or maybe Hunter to do like another little presentation on wrasses or fish or whatever. Or I mean, we can some of the other guys on the forum that specialize in certain things. We can see if they might want to do like a little
I'd
present.
love to see Hunter's tank.
Yeah,
See all those wrasses. I think that'd be cool.
yeah, we can maybe reach out. So maybe we could like reach out to Hunter and find out would he be open to like doing a tank tour Tuesday, but also it'd be kind of like a presentation on wrasses, do
Yeah.
both, right?
That'd be awesome because I've watched the video you did. I think it was during COVID. But you had him and he did like an overview and he did a great job. I use that as a reference all the time because he did such a good job. But he actually left a lot out, so it'd be cool if he could even expand on some of those. That there's a lot of wrasses that he didn't cover in his video, so maybe he could get those in there.
I would like for him to talk about how does he quarantine his wrasses because I know he does, but I think he quarantines probably a little bit differently than we do. And obviously, wrasses are some of the hardest fish to quarantine, so it'd be great to hear
He
from.
uses he uses lower copper. He runs 1.9, which I mean, obviously, I don't know. That was, I think, back at the video. That little factoid has never left my brain with him. So maybe that's changed in recent years. But I think he tends to run some of his stuff a little less aggressively than
Right.
maybe some of us do.
Well,
Hey, Bobby,
yeah.
guess what? That's holding my computer.
Oh, look at that! You got Paul's book, huh?
Paul's-
Now when
It's signed.
hey, wait a minute. We could get Paul to do a tank tour
I
Tuesday.
think
That would be
Paul
interesting.
blocked me, Bobby. I sent him a couple messages and he doesn't respond. I'm pretty sure he blocked me.
Oh no.
He was on our Carolina Reefing Community, a speaker. When was it, December? Or he did so good. We love to have him. He connected with so many people. I don't think he blocked you. I haven't seen him much of him.
I give him a hard time. I mean, he likes to dish it out, so I return it in kind. And I don't think he appreciated that because I've sent him a couple messages now. Like, I
Well,
was actually just the other day, I said, I was going to send him a $75 eDNA test for free. Just, I'm curious to see what's in his
The
tank.
aquabiomic test.
Yeah, he won't respond. And
so
I've used the
well,
little app, his
he's in
name, a
Florida
couple
right
of
now.
times, and he doesn't ever respond. So I think he I don't know if the website can block people, but I'm pretty sure he blocked me.
So he's in Florida right now. He actually he told me because I talked to him on the phone like a week or so ago, and he actually him and his wife were going somewhere in Florida for like a week on vacation. So I don't think he blocked you. I just think he's just not on the forum right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul's not
Maybe.
one. Paul's not
Paul
one
Paul
blocking.
doesn't take crap from anybody,
Right.
just so you know. He's
Yeah.
just not that kind of guy.
He did
I
a
doubt
DNA
it.
test at some point.
John, you've been quiet. The other John.
John Gordon.
If I can figure out how to unmute. I'm a coral guy, so as you guys talk about fish,
I'm a coral person too. Thank God somebody loves corals here.
Have you done
I'm
any
getting
like
tired of
videos
the
of
fish.
your facility at all, John?
what's that?
Have
I'm
you done
I'm
any
having
like
trouble hearing you.
have you done any like videos of your facility at all?
No, we've so it's been a very long time moving everything into the new building. And we've
What's
had
your company, John? Where are you at?
so my company's Terra Reef, and we
Oh, okay. I've
yeah,
seen you on a forum.
yeah,
Okay.
we're just online. But we've had it's been a long time moving, and we've had a lot of health issues in the family. And we have expanded. We had my son was born almost a year ago now, so we've been very busy. And yeah, the new building is the animals are alive. The animals are doing great. It is hard to walk in the building, so I don't shoot a lot of video of the building. It's there's a lot going on in there. And then I don't know if I can share a picture easily in here. How do you share on this thing?
I
Screen.
think you have to give him
You
permission
can
to share screen.
you should be able to upload a file to
Oh, wait a
Discord.
minute. Bobby's gonna record this. I can't show it yet. I was gonna show you guys a sneak peek, but if it's gonna go public, I
Oh,
can't share
yeah.
it yet.
Oh, wait.
I mean, I can like edit that part out if
We
you
can
want.
stop
I
recording.
mean, yeah, I mean, I can edit
No,
that
we can wait.
or yeah.
I've just got a picture right now I took of earlier today. There's a almost a foot of snow on the ground right now. So that kind of thing terrifies me. I mean, I grow everything. So if a basement seller has a long-term power outage and they lose all their livestock, they've got to rebuild their tanks, get the tanks cycled again, ordered new stuff. It's devastating for them. But I've been collecting and quarantining corals for decades, growing them out for decades. A power outage is absolutely terrifying. So when there's heavy snow weighing on the power lines around here, it's scary tonight. I hate power outages. Um, we've got a lot of batteries and we've got a bunch of generators. We should be okay, but it's still, I don't
Where are
like
you
it.
at?
We're in Delaware.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, real close to Lewis Rehoboth ocean area. So um, yeah, but
Very cool. It's nice to meet you. It's good to put faces.
yeah,
The screen name, John, what's your screen name?
yeah,
Terra Reef.
it's John at Terra Reef, I think.
Vincent, I know who you are. I know your picture. Bobby, I know who you are. And now then, John, what's your screen name?
I think on the forum it's JC Faur, JCFAUR.
See, that's why I always get messed up with this stuff. Lee,
Well,
I
well, you
think
see,
you
my
have
name is
Lee on
actually Vince
yours.
Hates Fish. It's my middle name. Yeah, I take the fish and I drop them in straight bleach. That's why I hate them.
Right.
It's a new protocol I'm working on.
I bet it would kill all
I-
diseases.
No, at least I'm Irizumi on the forum.
What is it? Arizona? Gosh, why you guys have to have such weird names?
Because I'm covered in Japanese
What are
tattoos.
you? You're like Elisa underscore
Killer's
MX
Reef.
MLG Pro. My goodness.
I MK Reef. Oh, I need to change it to Killer Reef. Okay, MK.
And I'm humble fish on the forum in case y'all didn't know.
The humble fish.
I'm humble fish. Anybody going to? Okay, Vincent follow. Okay, Vincent love fish,
I do.
not
I love
not
fish.
kill fish.
No, I do not kill
Anybody
fish.
going to any shows in the next couple months this year? Any plans?
Maybe Aquashella again. I don't know if they're having it this year.
I think it's happening.
Well,
I think.
Aquashella Chicago. I
Mm.
think they're going to.
Hey, Elisa,
hmm
you're really big into conventions and what some of the bigger movers in the industry do, right? Is that a fair assumption about you? I don't know that much about you, but I've heard you kind of have a finger on the pulse of that type of stuff, right?
Not really. I'm just a hobbyist at heart, and I got involved in the Carolina reefing community, and we got involved into the Aquatic Expo. So the last two show, I was part of organizing the show. And obviously, when you're organizing a show, you start to know all the big vendors and sponsors and meeting with the actual companies and stuff. But other than that, I'm just a hobbyist.
Do you know what's going on and where's Serious Reefs at right now with everything that Ryan's trying to do? I haven't
I
kept
actually
up with
sign
it.
up. I sign
Yeah.
up. He's put in a great videos. I love it. It's only $9 a month, it's a coffee.
No, I was just curious what they were doing with it. I
So
I
so
saw the like previews like a month or two ago, but I
Mhm.
really haven't kept up with it in a while.
So they released probably three good videos. One with Nikki Bridges. She's the lady who actually been very passionate about corals, engineering in career, but in college she couldn't afford corals, so she started actually going to the stores and bringing home realistic corals, and she actually rehab over 200 corals. So it's just her and Ryan conversation about all the reefing, and Greg Curl from SC Mass, one of the founder of Reefapalooza, also recorded video with him. Just I think it was 16. What 16 things you can give it to the new reefer? What kind of what can we talk about it? And I thought they're doing a phenomenal job, and I just love it. Good chat, good conversation, very humble, very, just I don't know. It's a breath of fresh air because I don't do the drama or all the reefing stuff and all the bunch of balonies. To me, it's educational information. To me, it's really, really good.
It came up on the forum a while ago, and I think there was a lot of lack
Flag.
of understanding of what it was going to be like, which I think they kind of kept some of that close to their chest intentionally. I don't know if for what reason, but either way, I mean, it piqued my interest, but I was like, I was just curious what they were doing with it. So,
You know, if anybody curious, you can always sign up for a month and just cancel the next month. If it's not for you, it's not for you, or just see what it's about. It's
Have a
not
good night,
about
John.
it's not about the equipment, it's not about the gear, it's not about anything else. It's more of the educational content. And I don't know if you guys watch Ryan last 2024, all the three Reefapalooza talk. When I was in California, I was actually present. I finally get to meet him and I listened to his presentation, and it was just like, it was really empowering, you know.
I just want to
well,
say,
they canceled Macna, right? That's like done, gone.
hey, real quick, guys. I just because John's getting ready to drop off, so I just
Oh,
wanted to thank John real quick for showing us his aquarium and his fish pond. And I mean, thank you so much. I just wanted to say that, and then you guys go back to
Thank you,
talk.
John. You should
Yeah.
be proud.
Thank you.
You
Thank
do
you for having
this.
me.
Thank
You
you.
do this every day. You're doing
Thank
good.
you.
that was a really nice tank, man. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I
All
feel
right.
I feel bad to follow you now.
Yeah. All right. All right. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
It is
Yeah, man.
2 hours in.
Right.
I do have to bounce myself as well. I don't know if you guys want to continue.
It's
Yeah,
all right. Elisa, we can pick this up next time if
Sounds
you're
good.
if you're
It'll be her
around.
show,
So,
hope, or
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
yeah,
I
we'll
will
get
be.
this on.
all
I'll
right,
get
y'all. It's been real.
yeah, we'll pick this up at next time we do it. Because Lisa, you're gonna do next month, right? Or you're gonna do April.
April.
Yeah.
So yes, okay, good. So yeah, we'll pick this up. Yeah, because I think my wife's kind of giving me a look like it's time to go to bed. So
Mine is sitting over there giving me a look too.
All
so
right. Have a good night.
okay. Well, thank you,
Good night,
everyone,
guys.
and we'll see you again next month.
We'll
Night
see you
night.
next month. Thank you.
Good night.